do you feel more comfortable working on your own work or working on somebody else's? And does it pertain to whether or not you're performing or doing like post production or writing or something like that? Have you found yourself more comfortable in any of those territories?
I do like working for myself because I know what I want.
Sure.
Some clients that I edit for are very, very easy. Like, if I may use Arlo as an example, he's a very good guy. Editing for him is pretty straightforward. He'll have his notes, and I'll apply his notes, and then I just send the video back. And if he has more notes, then he sends the notes back, and we just keep doing it till we get it right. But there is no, I the best thing I can compare it to is like Kitchen Nightmares. Like, there is no yelling at me saying like, "You idiot,
Right.
what's the matter with you?" type of thing. There is none of that. It's all like, he brought me on as a form of convenience, and
Right.
I edit for him as a form of getting exposure, as a form of receiving extra, financing, and as a
Sure.
means of practicing my editing skills. So it's a good mutual benefit.
Yeah.
I prefer editing for myself because, I mean, that's me boosting my popularity. That's me furthering my own career. That's me doing the things
Sure.
I want to do. Editing for Arlo and whatnot is fun, and it's cool to help other people fulfill their dreams and do the things that they
Right.
want to do, right? But also, it's like, well, I have dreams too. I want to do my own thing. So
Right.
that's, I used to edit for The Completionist, and that took up a lot of my time. And I loved the time when I was there. But when I was editing for The Completionist, I went to an office on the weekdays. It was treated like an actual job, and
Right.
I did I'd edit a video every week, but there was also other things. Like, I had to edit the stuff that went on the Patreon. I had to help them film some of the shots. Sometimes if someone was sick, I'd try to fill in for them. I'd have to get pickup shots if Gerard the Completionist was unavailable, and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I was devoting a lot of my time, no fault of his. I'm just like a bit of a workaholic perfectionist. And
Right.
I would help him fulfill his dreams, and that's cool. But I get jealous, and it's like, I wish I could be doing some of the things he's doing, and
Sure.
I can't do that if I'm just helping him do it all the time. So
Right.
I have this mentality of like, if I can't fulfill my own dreams, I may as well help someone else fulfill theirs. And
Sure.
I'll totally do that. And I love seeing him be successful, and I love seeing Arlo be successful, and it works for me if everyone's successful too, because then it
Right.
looks better on my portfolio.
Sure.
But I get the idea of, I really want to do this dream project of mine, but I just don't have enough hands to help me. And then I'll be like, well, I want to go in just because I want to see you succeed, because I know what it's like to want to be able to do this thing, but you don't have the time, or you don't know how to get around this obstacle. So I just
For sure.
want to help you.
Yeah.
At the same token, then you get to do your dream. You do an awesome job, and I'm happy whether I'm a part of it or not. And then I get jealous. I'm like, well, now I want to do that. I'm gonna go do that. So I like doing it for myself. Yes, for these reasons of jealousy and envy. But I like doing my own stuff too, because, as I stated earlier in this interview, working for other people better helps me determine how I can help myself.
For sure.
So it works out. I'm never gonna be mad that someone I edited for did a good job. Okay, I'm
Right.
never
Yeah.
gonna be mad that someone brought me on to help them with something and we both benefited. Okay, or even if they just benefit, at least I was able to help them. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna be upset about that. Jealous maybe, but upset, no.
Sure.
I only get upset when I realize that, like, opportunities are passing me by and I don't take them. So that's why I try to take
Sure.
up any opportunity I can. And if that means that I need to spend days editing for other channels before I can edit for myself, then that's what I do. And if that means I need to edit for myself before I edit for other channels, then I try to do that too. So
Right.
it goes back and forth, but I definitely prefer doing my own stuff, because that at least allows me to get my ideas onto the table and further
Sure.
my career.
Well, now, to kind of go back to the other part of the question, then, with regards to you editing and you performing or doing commentary on things,
Mhm.
or even animating for that matter, like, what level do you feel like do you feel like you are a comfortable performer more so than a comfortable editor? Like, which part of your craft do you kind of see as your craft in a sense?
It's tricky to answer that question. It's a very straightforward question. I have a hard time answering it because there's nothing that I do that someone else can't do. So for
Sure.
that reason, I guess I'm a better performer, because people struggle to perform. The idea of constantly keeping your conversation going, not saying too often. There's a craft to that, There's a craft to
Sure.
being able to carry a conversation while you're playing a game and while you're able to talk about the game and not stutter too much and so on and so forth. So for those reasons, I guess I'm a better performer. But it's the editing skills that I guess people are looking for, because just being a decent
Right.
performer, I mean, there's a lot of people on YouTube that do Let's Plays, record their voice, do video essays, all the like. Editing, there are a lot of people who are willing to edit, but it's a competitive enough category to where when people are hiring editors, they're looking for something specific. Some people
Right.
just want, hey, I did a live stream. I need someone to make a highlight reel of my live stream. Okay, cool. That's fine.
And
Other
then you have
people,
video essayists,
yeah, other
which
people
want the world, right?
yeah, other people are like, I just want to be able to record my voice, hand the voiceover file to someone else, and then I just want to be able to write my next thing. And I totally get that too, and I actually prefer the latter. I prefer editing video essays than highlight reels. So
Gotcha.
my editing skills, I guess some people do think, hey, you do a good job with these types of visual edits. But to me, it's nothing special to me because I do it all the time. So
Yeah.
I know how it's done.
Well, isn't that kind of strange? It's like you hear about people who are professionals at their occupation when you're aspiring, and once you get to the point where you are professionally doing something like financially and whatnot, you don't recognize yourself as like that professional that you were once looking at for a while, you know?
You're right.
But meanwhile, the fact that you are actually, financially benefiting from your work and professionally editing for people, like, it means you're a professional editor. It's just hard to like see yourself as that, right?
It's true. You're absolutely right. When I first started making YouTube videos, 10, 12 plus years ago, I was not getting paid for it. Getting paid for YouTube videos wasn't even an option. That was unheard of. That didn't start happening until companies such as Machinima started rolling around and started providing these opportunities for people. And while there were a couple people who were getting paid for YouTube videos later on, you're talking about the big channels at the time, like Fred, or what are they called, like Niga Higa and stuff like that.
Right.
More often than not, getting paid on YouTube, like that was not a thought most people had. You were uploading videos to YouTube as a hobby, and that's what I did. And then it wasn't till about 2012 or so where I was finally able to start monetizing my videos, and I was making pretty good money for the amount of work I was putting in, which is to say, I was barely doing any work. I was just recording myself playing games,
Sure.
but people were watching. And then as time went on, a lot more people realized you get paid for making YouTube videos, so a lot more people were doing it, as you would say, professionally, and so
Sure.
it became a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I again, am I a little jealous? Of course I am. But it was never my dream to be the #1 YouTuber anyway. It was always just a hobby. It was just a benefit that I got paid for my hobby. So when push comes to shove and you see all these bigger channels coming up and surpassing you, you start to realize, well, if I can't beat them, I may as well join them or affiliate with them. And that's basically where I'm at now. So yeah, I'm probably never going to be more popular than the completionist. I probably was at some point because my channel, I think, came first. So technically I was more popular at one point, but it's not my goal to be more popular than him. It's my goal to be friends with him, assist him, and if he can, have him assist me. And that has happened. So in some cases, I've achieved that goal. But yeah, it's not my end goal to be the #1 gaming YouTube channel. YouTube has always just been my hobby, and it's just been something I do to get closer into the gaming industry so I can one day make a game or work with someone who can make a game, so on and so forth.
And making a game or making videos and stuff, do you think that's in response to you having a creative drive, or do you think it's more towards, I really like games, I play a lot of games, I want to see better games in the industry, and I want to contribute to that? Like, or is it kind of like you've always been creating something or wanting to create things, and this is just a way you can have that outlet, basically?
That's a good question. I think it's the latter. I like making stuff. I will suffer withdrawals when I'm not creating something because I always have all these ideas going in my head. It's like, oh, I should make that a video. Yeah, it's not my intention to use my social media platforms to tell people how to do their jobs. So that's why I never really wanted to be a game reviewer. I've done, I guess, like 2 or 3 game reviews, but usually I just focus on what the game is rather than what it's not. Because I can say, if I may use Super Mario 3D World as an example, I love that game, but a lot of people bashed that game because it wasn't a sandbox style Mario game like Mario 64 or Sunshine. And then Super Mario Odyssey came out, and people went back and played 3D World and said, you know what? This is a pretty darn good game. That's never been the intention of my platform. And while I have played a couple of games that I actively did not like, and I made it known that I did not like them, I still understand that it takes a team to make a game. So
For sure.
I never want to make someone feel bad because their product did not satisfy me. That's not what I do. So I make videos because I am creatively motivated to make them. Games do mean a lot to me. They inspire me. They make me strive to be a better and creative person. And I can only hope that I can convey those emotions through my videos. And I hope that I've done so. That's all that's all I can really say.
Well, and it's interesting because we live in a time where the internet is so prominent to our voice and in our opinions that even just sharing opinions on games has a ripple effect on the industry as a whole. Mm-hmm. As opposed to liking or disliking a game back before the internet was mainstream was a much different picture. Whether or not we liked or disliked something hardly had effect on anything, right? Mm-hmm. So I like how you mentioned looking at what's there in a game instead of what's not there, because it adds a more level playing field for whatever kind of influence you might have on game developers when you review their game, right? Mm-hmm. And it kind of keeps a level of I guess appreciation that needs to stay within the gaming industry, just as well as appreciation in any art medium. Hey there. You just watched a clip from my creative podcast. If you'd like to check out the full episode as well as other episodes as soon as they come out, you can support me over on Patreon for the $3 tier, or you can just subscribe here and wait for clips and podcast episodes to come out eventually.